The police sirens filled the street, and neighbors gathered in shock. Amina held Mariam's hand tightly as she watched the police push Zainab into their van. She felt ashamed, but before that day, Amina had carried her life on her back for her daughters. She sold vegetables in the hot sun, cleaned houses for strangers, and worked late nights to make sure Zainab and Mariam never went hungry. Her sweat was the price for their schooling. Her hope was the reason she rose each morning. Mariam understood this well. She would sit beside her mother at the stall, count the money carefully, and study whenever she could. Her teachers praised her for discipline, and the neighbors spoke of her as a light in Amina's home. But Zainab was different. From a young age, she despised the life they lived. She mocked the stall, refused to help, and laughed at the little earnings her mother brought home. "I want a better life than this," she often said. Life in Amina's small home was simple. The mornings began with the smell of boiling porridge. Mariam would wake early to sweep and help with breakfast. Amina often spoke to them about patience. "You must work hard, my children," she would say, serving them food. "Life does not reward laziness." Mariam would nod quietly, but Zainab rolled her eyes and stared at her phone, barely listening. When Amina got her small vegetable stall near the main road, she felt hope again. Business was slow, but it was honest work. Every evening, Mariam would pass by the stall after school, helping her mother pack up before sunset. Zainab, however, found new friends, girls who wore expensive clothes and carried foreign phones. She began to stay out late, returning home with perfume scents and excuses that made her mother uneasy. One night, Amina confronted her. "Zainab, where are you getting these things from?" she asked. Zainab shrugged. "You wouldn't understand, Mama. Not everyone wants to live poor forever." Her words pierced Amina's heart. Months passed, and Amina's home began to feel empty. Mariam still helped her mother at the stall, but the silence between them grew heavy. Each evening, Amina would glance at the road, hoping to see Zainab walking home. She rarely did. Sometimes, Zainab would appear suddenly, wearing new shoes or carrying shopping bags. She always brought stories of city parties, of men who promised her money, of connections. Mariam would quietly leave the room whenever her sister spoke. She did not argue, but her eyes always told what her mouth would not say. One evening, Amina followed her daughter secretly. Zainab had lied that she was visiting a friend, but Amina's heart told her otherwise. The road led her behind a hotel at the edge of the town. When she saw Zainab laughing with strange men, her knees weakened. She stood hidden, watching her child once innocent, now lost in a world she did not understand. She walked home slowly that night, tears burning her eyes. At the doorway, Mariam was waiting. "Mama," she whispered. "I know." When the news of Zainab's arrest spread through the neighborhood, Amina's heart nearly stopped. She ran barefoot through the street, her scarf falling behind her. People whispered as she passed, but she did not care. All she wanted was to see her daughter. At the station, the officers told her Zainab had been caught with a group who stole from a big-time jewelry shop. Zainab sat on the floor in tears. Amina stood there, speechless. She had warned her countless times, yet this was where her child had ended up. Mariam arrived later, still in her school uniform. She went straight to her sister and held her hand. "We'll fix this," she said softly. Zainab couldn't look at her. For the first time, she saw how far she had fallen and how much pain she had caused the only people who truly loved her. Amina used every coin she had saved to get Zainab released. When they left the station, she didn't speak. She only walked slowly, her daughters following behind her. That night, no one slept. Zainab sat by the window, staring at the city lights. She could hear her mother praying quietly in the next room. The weight of her choices pressed on her chest. Weeks passed after Zainab's return. The noise around her arrest slowly faded, but the silence in their home said more than any gossip could. Every morning, she followed her mother to the market. She carried the baskets, cleaned the stall, and greeted customers politely. Amina didn't say much. Her love spoke through patience. Mariam often watched her sister quietly. There were days Zainab would sit by herself after work, staring into space. One evening, Mariam brought her a plate of food and said, "You're not alone, you know." Zainab smiled weakly for the first time in months. "I know," she replied, her voice low. Bit by bit, things began to change. Zainab started helping Mariam with her studies. She saved part of her earnings to buy her mother small gifts. People noticed and whispered again, but this time with surprise. "Is that not Amina's daughter?" they asked. "The one who was arrested?" And someone would always answer, "Yes, but she has changed." One Sunday morning, Zainab joined her family for church. The pastor spoke about forgiveness and second chances. Amina held both her daughter's hands, tears filling her eyes. For the first time, her heart felt light. From that day, their home was different. Laughter returned, peace returned. Zainab had learnt the hard way what her mother had always known, that love and patience can rebuild what shame once destroyed. My people, listen well. A mother's tears may fall in silence, but her love never stops speaking. If you ever lose your way, remember the road home is still waiting for your footsteps.